twinkling stars in the sky, and unending roaring waves of the ocean be countless, but we, the humans, stand distinct from them. Our credible number of 1,210 millions in this vast landscape of our nation has earned us the distinguished title as the second most populated country in the world. To bring this 1,210 million population into a single register known as the National Population Register, the Government of India, with the legal backing of the Citizenship Act 1955, has already begun the work of the collection of data and enrollment. Our nation, India, a land blazing with diverse and distinct physical features, ornamented with snow-capped mountains, hilly terrains, plains, plateaus, coastal lines and deserts, having many regions with varied climatic conditions, is rich in her diverse culture and traditions. It is a land with multi-ethnic, multilingual, multicultural and multi-religious composition. Thus, the preparation of a register containing various information related to each and every one of its large population is truly a gigantic exercise. The preparation of National Population Register (NPR) in the country has been mandated by the Section 14A of the Citizenship Act 1955 and the Citizenship Registration of the Citizens and Issue of National Identity Cards Rules 2003, which empower the Government of India to compulsorily register the citizens of India and issue national identity card to him or her. As per the rules, the central government may, by an order issued in this regard, decide a date by which the population register shall be prepared by collecting information relating to all persons who are usually residing within the jurisdiction of a local registrar. The declaration of intention of the central government for preparation of National Population Register was published in the Official Gazette of the Union of India on 15 March 2010, which was reproduced and published in the Official Gazette of Government of Kerala on 29 March 2010. The concept of National Population Register has a history dating back to 1986. In 1986, a pilot scheme was implemented for issue of identity cards to residents in selected border areas of Rajasthan in the context of trans-border terrorism. This scheme was decided to be extended to the border areas of Bihar, West Bengal, Gujarat, Punjab and certain northeastern states. But the scheme could not be materialized due to non-enactment of the proposed central legislation for the purpose. Later on, a group of ministers constituted to review the national security system in its entirety and in particular to consider the recommendations of the Kargil Review Committee (KRC) and formulate specific proposals for implementation had recommended that illegal migration has assumed serious proportions, so that there should be compulsory registration of citizens and non-citizens living in India, and that this will facilitate preparation of a national register of citizens. The recommendation of the group of ministers was accepted by the government in May 2001. As a follow-up, Citizenship Act 1955 was amended by inserting Section 14A, which provided that the central government may compulsorily register every citizen of India and issue national identity card to them. The Registrar General India has been designated as the National Registration Authority or Registrar General of Citizen Registration under the Act. The Citizenship Registration and Issue of National Identity Cards Rules 2003 was also framed. The work of preparation of National Population Register was initiated in the year 2009 in the coastal villages of the country, including the state of Kerala, and resident identity cards have been issued to the usual residents of these coastal villages. The Minister of State for Home Affairs, Sri Mullapalli Ramachandran, had inaugurated the preparation of National Population Register in coastal villages of Kerala. As per decisions taken in the 6th meeting of The National Committee on Strengthening Maritime and Coastal Security Against Threat from Sea, expeditious action is being taken for preparation of NPR in the remaining areas of the 29 coastal taluks of the state. Kerala, the southern state of India, has been a forerunner in many aspects of human development. It has a rich tradition of successful implementation of projects of national importance in its stride. The same is the case with respect to the preparation of National Population Register, a flagship program of Government of India.
ദേശീയ ജനസംഖ്യ രജിസ്റ്റർ അനുസരിച്ച് പേര് രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് കേരളത്തിലെ ഏതാണ്ട് 62% ജനസംഖ്യയും ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ പേര് രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്തു കഴിഞ്ഞു. അതായത് ഏതാണ്ട് 300 ലക്ഷം ജനങ്ങളുള്ളതിൽ അതിൻ്റെ 62% നമ്മൾ രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞു. ഇന്ത്യയിലെ തന്നെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ കവറേജ് കേരളത്തിലാണ് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടാൻ സാധിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. അടുത്ത ഏതാനും ഈ വർഷം തീർച്ചയായും അടുത്ത 5-6 മാസത്തിനുള്ളിൽ തന്നെ കേരളത്തിലെ ഭൂരിപക്ഷം ജനങ്ങളെയും 90%-ലധികം ജനങ്ങളെയും നാഷണൽ പോപ്പുലേഷൻ രജിസ്റ്ററിൻ്റെ പരിധിയിൽ കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നതാണ്. ഒരു ബൃഹത്തായ ഒരു സംരംഭമാണ് നാം ഏറ്റെടുത്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. വളരെ നല്ല രീതിയിൽ അത് മുന്നോട്ട് പോവുകയാണ്. അതിൽ എല്ലാവരും സഹകരിക്കണം എന്ന് ഞാൻ എല്ലാവരോടും അഭ്യർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു.
The Director of Citizen Registration, who is also Director of Census Operations, is the key officer under the Registrar General of Citizen Registration for implementation of the project in the state. The Director of Census Operations Kerala coordinates the implementation of the project in the state of Kerala.
The National Population Register is a flagship national program of the Government of India. The creation of National Population Register is a statutory requirement. It is a register of usual residents of the country. It is being prepared at the village, ward, taluk, district, state and national level as per the provisions of the Citizenship Act 1955 and the Citizenship Rules 2003. It is mandatory for every usual resident of India to register himself or herself in the National Population Register. The preparation of National Population Register in the state of Kerala is progressing well with the wholehearted support of the Government of Kerala and the residents of Kerala at large.
Implementation of the gigantic task of preparation of the register for the 33 million population of the state, covering various phases of the work, is being meticulously monitored and controlled by this office. Estimation of various requirements of forms and material for the project, translation in vernacular language of schedules and instruction manuals, printing and transporting of various forms, manuals and other documents required in the field, releasing of sufficient funds for the implementation of the project in the field, monitoring of progress, training, functionaries, etc. are some of the items of work performed by this directorate. It holds the responsibility of preparation of National Population Register in addition to other tasks such as decennial census, sample registration system, civil registration system, etc. A 3-tier cascade of training was devised at the time of the first phase of NPR in 2010 to train lakhs and lakhs of enumerators and supervisors of the country. There were national trainers, master trainer facilitators, and master trainers designated for the work of training the huge mass of NPR enumerators and supervisors. The Directorate of Census Operations, Kerala, has a separate cartographic unit to assist NPR operations for ensuring complete coverage without omission or overlapping. GIS-based town mapping were used for the preparation of NPR with the help of various levels of maps for the country, the state, the district, the tehsil, village or town, ward of town, and the enumeration block can identify a particular household in the map drawn by the enumerator with reference to the house in which it resides. Further, the mapping can identify a household with respect to its completion for capture of biometry. The cartographic activities with regard to the NPR will be a useful tool in identifying the usual resident by location of his residence. With the preparation of NPR, a comprehensive identity database is created of every usual resident in the country who resides in a local area for the past 6 months or more, or intend to reside in that area at least for the next 6 months. This database is created through canvassing of a schedule with 14 demographic details of every individual of the household. In Kerala, the work of door-to-door canvassing of schedules was completed during April-May 2010. As a first step, enumerators appointed for the purpose visit their specified area or block, identifying the block boundaries and numbering in a systematic way both the residential and non-residential houses, irrespective of their use, inter alia, vacant and locked houses, using a particular numbering system. The enumerator then visits the household and canvasses the NPR schedule. Information pertaining to each individual of the household is recorded in a schedule and the entries are read out to the respondent. The respondent is requested to put a signature or thumb impression on the filled-in NPR schedule in token of authenticating the information. While canvassing the schedule, the respondents are cautioned that providing any false information would attract penalties under the Citizenship Rules 2003. The information collected on nationality is as declared by the individual respondent. He is also cautioned that providing the information on nationality alone will not confer him of any right to citizenship of India. After enumeration, respondent is given an acknowledgement slip to facilitate identification of his or her household during the capture of biometric data in designated camps set up for the purpose. Filled-in schedules in which the demographic data in respect of all usual residents in the local area were collected were packed enumeration blockwise and were transported to the Directorate of Census Operations for further processing of the data. Registrar General of Citizenship Registration had a tie-up with the India Post for return collection of filled-in schedules, layout maps and other documents prepared during the first phase of National Population Register operations. The materials were transported from each and every sub-district registrar to the Directorate in wagons of logistic post. These were verified at the Directorate and stored in designated record rooms in shelves specifically earmarked for sub-districts and local areas. The NPR schedules containing demographic particulars of usual residents were scanned for the Data Capture Center of the Directorate of Census Operations and TIFF images of the schedules were generated. The The scanning of schedules were done systematically, covering enumeration blocks of all local areas. Verification for completion of the work was done by referring to the charge registers prepared by the sub-district registrar while he carried out the field operations for NPR. The TIFF images of schedules were systematically arranged block-wise, local area-wise, and were encrypted before handing them over to the Central Public Sector Undertaking, the Indian Telephone Industries Limited, Palakkad, for further processing of the images of the schedules. A consortium of 3 public sector undertakings, namely Bharat Electronics Limited, Indian Telephone Industries Limited, and ECIL, were assigned with the task of image-based data entry for the demographic data of residents collected through schedules. The Indian Telephone Industries Limited, Palakkad, was assigned with the work of data entry in respect of the state of Kerala. They were also entrusted with the work of biometric enrollment of the usual residents as part of preparation of the register. The encrypted TIFF images of the NPR schedules were supplied by the Directorate of Census Operations, Kerala, to the Indian Telephone Industries Limited, Palakkad, for data entry and further action for capture of biometry. The data entry on the basis of images of schedules after decryption were done by the ITI Limited, Palakkad, in 3 bulk data centers set up at Thiruvananthapuram, Palakkad and Kozhikode in the state. The data entry was done in bilingual format, both in English and in Malayalam, and a database of demographic data in respect of usual residents of the state was created. Meticulous efforts were made to make the data entry error-free. Strict monitoring, supervision and quality control of the entered data were ensured in the bulk data centers. Round-the-clock vigil with CCTV and security arrangements with restricted entry to the server and a ban on secondary storage devices in the data centers were also ensured for security of the data being taken out of the centers. Data entry of newly filled-in schedules submitted by new usual residents at the time of first round of biometry camps is being done in these data centers at present for capture of biometry of the new usual residents in the second round of biometry camps. The capture of biometrics for preparation of NPR in Kerala was inaugurated by Sri Thiruvanchur Radhakrishnan in Kottayam.
നെയ്യാറ്റിൻകര താലൂക്കിലെ തീരദേശമല്ലാത്ത 21 വില്ലേജുകൾ അടങ്ങുന്ന മേഖലയിൽ 2010 ഏപ്രിൽ മാസത്തിൽ ദേശീയ ജനസംഖ്യാ രജിസ്റ്ററിൻ്റെ പ്രാരംഭ പ്രവർത്തനമായ NPR ഷെഡ്യൂളിൽ പേര് ചേർക്കൽ നടത്തി. രണ്ടാം ഘട്ടമായ ബയോമെട്രിക് പ്രവർത്തനം 2012 ഏപ്രിൽ മാസം ആരംഭിച്ചു. തീരദേശ വില്ലേജുകളിൽ UIDAI സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ ബയോമെട്രിക് ക്യാമ്പുകൾ ക്രമീകരിച്ചു വരുന്നു. രണ്ടാം ഘട്ട പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ 2013 ഏപ്രിൽ മാസത്തോടെ പൂർത്തിയാക്കാൻ കഴിയുമെന്ന് പ്രതീക്ഷിക്കുന്നു. എൻ്റെ താലൂക്കിൽ NPRൻ്റെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ ജനങ്ങളുടെ പൂർണ്ണ പങ്കാളിത്തത്തോടുകൂടി കുറ്റമറ്റ രീതിയിൽ നടത്തിവരുന്നു.
Training for the enumerators for the second phase of NPR, that is a capture of biometric information, was imparted in each and every sub-district of the state on a continuous basis, one batch after another, before starting off biometric camps in each of the villages or wards or towns.
ആദ്യം ഇന്ത്യയിലെ എല്ലാ സ്ഥിരതാമസക്കാരെയും ഒരു രജിസ്റ്ററിലേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവരിക. എന്നിട്ട് അത്തരം സ്ഥിരതാമസക്കാരിൽ നിന്ന് പൗരനെയും പൗരനല്ലാത്തവനെയും വേർതിരിക്കുക എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ ഒരു കൺസെപ്ച്വലൈസേഷൻ സെൻട്രൽ ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഉണ്ടായി. അതിനനുസരിച്ച് റൂൾസ് എല്ലാം ഫ്രെയിം ചെയ്യുകയുണ്ടായി.
അപ്പോൾ ബയോമെട്രിക് വിവരശേഖരണം എന്നുകൊണ്ട് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് ഓരോ വ്യക്തികളുടെയും 2 കണ്ണുകളുടെയും ഐറിസ് ഇമേജ്, 10 വിരലുകളുടെയും ഫിംഗർ പ്രിൻ്റ്, പിന്നെ അവരുടെ ഫോട്ടോ, ഇത്രയും കളക്ട് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ബയോമെട്രിക് വിവരശേഖരണത്തിൻ്റെ ഉദ്ദേശ ലക്ഷ്യം.
The enumerators are provided with Know Your Residence forms for distribution among all households in their assigned blocks. Intimation slips indicating the crucial information such as name, date of birth and address in respect of usual residents generated out of the database created by the data entry of schedules is also circulated among the usual residents, inviting correction in the entered data. A comprehensive list of households in the block is also supplied to the enumerator. The enumerator is required to visit all households in his block and request the usual residents to attend the biometric camp on designated date and time, thereby ensuring smooth flow of residents for enrollment in the camps. This prevents overcrowding or idling of machines at the same time. The households are invited to the camp in proportion to the capacity of machines set up in the camp so as to avoid long queue and overcrowding. Blank NPR schedules for new families or individuals for their enrollment is also supplied to the enumerator for distribution among such families in the camp. The queries raised by the enumerators are adequately answered in the training class, and they are motivated by enlightening them with the purpose of national task. The sub-district registrars played a crucial role along with the officers of Director of Census Operations Kerala in the processing of conducting the biometric camps. The ITI Limited Palakkad and their vendors also played a very crucial role in the process of collection of biometric information in the preparation of NPR. Several publicity measures such as danglers, banners, handbills, flexboards, brochures and posters were procured and supplied in the field for information to the general public about the national task of preparation of national population registers. Press releases were given whenever necessary to highlight the points of information for the benefit of the public. Publicity measures such as radio jingles, TV commercial spots and newspaper advertisements were also carried out by the Office of the Registrar General, India, to sensitize the public.
എടോ മുൻപിലാണെന്ന് എന്തുകൊണ്ട് പറഞ്ഞുകൂടാ നമ്മൾ? അതെ, നമ്മൾ ലോകത്തിലെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ജനാധിപത്യ രാജ്യമാണ് നമ്മുടേത്. യുവാക്കളാണ് ഭാവി സൃഷ്ടിക്കുന്നത്. യുവാക്കൾ കൂടുതലുള്ളത് നമ്മുടെ ഇടയിലാണ്. എല്ലാ കാര്യത്തിലല്ലെങ്കിലും പല കാര്യങ്ങളിലും മുൻപിലാണ് നമ്മൾ. നമ്മുടെ തിരിച്ചറിയൽ 5 അക്ഷരങ്ങളുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. INDIA, ഇന്ത്യ. ഞാനാണ് ഭാരതവാസി.
ഭാരതവാസിയായിരിക്കുന്നതിന്റെ അഭിമാനം പ്രകടമാക്കൂ. നാഷണൽ പോപ്പുലേഷൻ രജിസ്റ്ററിൽ രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട്. ഇത് ഭാരതത്തിൽ വസിക്കുന്ന ഓരോരുത്തർക്കും നിർബന്ധമാണ്. നാഷണൽ പോപ്പുലേഷൻ രജിസ്റ്റർ എന്റെ തിരിച്ചറിയൽ, എന്റെ അഭിമാനം. ഭാരത സർക്കാർ മുഖേന പൊതുജന താൽപര്യാർത്ഥം പുറപ്പെടുവിക്കുന്നത്.
The enumerator again visits each and every household in his or her block and distributes Know Your Resident Plus forms along with intimation slips showing the details of each member of the household. The enumerator invites members of the household to a venue set up in the local area for capturing their biometric particulars. The 3 biometric particulars include the face photograph, 10 fingerprints, and images of both iris. The residents are supposed to bring the KVR Plus form duly filled in along with the original documents in proof of the entered data, which the enumerator will verify in the camp. The main activity during the second phase of NPR is collection of the 3 biometric details of every usual resident aged 5 years and above by conducting camps in the local area. This is in addition to the 14 demographic particulars already recorded in the NPR schedule during the first phase. The government servants appointed as enumerators have specific tasks to be performed in the camp for verification of identity of residents and genuineness of the documents they bring in the camp. The enrollee approaches the enumerator concerned with the intimation slip, KVR Plus form, and also with the original documents to prove the entries recorded in the KVR Plus forms. The enumerator, after verification of these documents, signs the KVR Plus form. The enrollees are issued with token numbers after verification of KVR Plus forms by the concerned enumerators to facilitate systematic conduct of camps. Those who are directed to the NPR BME approaches the concerned operator to whom the filled-in KVR Plus form is handed over. The operator then takes the 3 biometric details, photography of face, 10 fingerprints and 2 iris images in respect of the resident. After the biometry is captured and the KVR plus fields are entered, the operator initiates the record review of entries to facilitate correction in the record, if any, suggested by the respondent. In the absence of any correction, record is accepted. After biometric capture, every enrollee is provided with an enrollment slip signed by the enrollee as well as the data entry operator. The enrollment agency also maintains a copy of this. The resident who have already been enrolled in Aadhaar and possesses a valid Aadhaar letter or acknowledgement of enrollment subject to conditions are directed to the linker software. In the case of those who have already enrolled in Aadhaar, their biometric details are not captured subject to certain conditions. However, a photographic image of their Aadhaar letter or acknowledgement slip is taken. Persons who have not been covered in the first phase of enumeration for NPR are required to attend the camp and fill up their demographic particulars in a blank NPR schedule made available in the camp. The biometric camps are equipped with drinking water, seating arrangements and toilet facilities. Disabled or aged persons, pregnant ladies and those women carrying children in their arms are given preferential treatment in all the biometric camps. Mobile biometric units are arranged to capture the biometry of bedridden, disabled or handicapped residents who are unable to attend the biometric camp by virtue of their physical condition or disability. They are enrolled under NPR process at their residence. The biometric information of the Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala, Shri Umman Chandi, and that of his family members were collected from his official residence. The Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India, Dr. C. Chandramouli IAS, visited the state and held interactions with the Chief Secretary of Kerala on NPR. He also visited the camps set up for the collection of biometry of residents for preparation of National Population Register. Residents in remote and inaccessible areas, including tribal areas, were also included in the project. Camps were set up for the collection of biometry of such population. After the capture of biometry, the biometry packets are handed over to the Unique Identification Authority of India for deduplication and issue of 12-digit unique Aadhaar number. In order to bring in transparency and equity, the demographic data along with photograph and unique identity number will be printed in the form of a local register in respect of all usual resident of the local area. This will be published for public scrutiny, inviting claims and objections. The local register of usual residents will also be placed before the Gram Sabha or Ward Committee for their approval. After approval of local bodies and also after incorporating corrections emanating out of complaints, the local register will be approved by the district registrar. A proposal to issue resident identity cards to all usual residents of the country is under the consideration of the Government of India. Permanent centers for the continuous updation of the register is also proposed to be set up at the sub-district level. Any usual resident left out during the process of initialization of NPR, or any usual resident who migrates to a local area after the initialization of NPR may have to approach these permanent centers for registration in the National Population Register.
I am a resident of India. National Population Register. My identity, my pride.